Okay, so here's the third video of the layout, second update. Done some switching around of a few things, did some additional wiring. Everything is pretty much wired up and working, although two of the switches in the back crossover are still a bit finicky. The lighter cars don't like one of the turnouts that much, even though it looks pretty much aligned and the engines go over smoothly. Some of the lighter cars still have an issue, so I think I might have some filing to do on those. I have redone the mountain back here where hillside. It'll be probably bigger than I anticipated originally through the design, but hoping to possibly get some houses and buildings up along the hillside to add some interest and depth to it. So I'm trying to figure out how to put some base in there for some roads and things. I've got this system of cardboard with tunnels cut for the track, so that way the tracks go under the cardboard, but the cardboard actually will act as kind of ribs for the final structure, and then there'll be cross hatching of cardboard strips that will go across. I probably need still a few more pieces in between those ribs, otherwise it'll probably sag too much. So there's still some work to do, and this will be another small industry back here coming off of the inner track. This area here that I had laid out previously, I had anticipated more tracks in here, but because of the turnout over well, it's not quite over the river, but because of that bridge that's going to have to go there where the yellow car is currently, and the black tank car by the engine, that will get in the way of another turnout for another track in here. So unfortunately that's kind of as is, but hopefully I can add some more kind of residential houses along here and a road that goes up on this hillside. And then I had toyed with the idea of having a road bridge across the track across here, and then come just off the table here, and it kind of looks like it might work. So that's to be determined. Initially I had wanted the road from this little town to come across this section here, but then I realized connecting this section and that section would kind of shorten the layout visually, so I decided to nix that idea. But I like the idea of kind of three areas. We'll have one area here, another little town here that is connected by this little industry on the reversing loop section by a road bridge across the river, and then another area over here probably on the hillside if I can figure that out. These parts might come up too high and at too steep of a range. Looking at this one, it's more gradual. It might work better than the two in the middle there. And eventually this will be not cardboard. Well, the cardboard will be hidden by flashing that'll come along the side of the table. So this is still in design stage right now, but you can see the two tracks coming under and through the cardboard. Essentially what I want to do is have the tracks kind of disappear behind, so you don't see where they loop around, even though it's pretty obvious because it's a small layout, but essentially that back loop becomes hidden. So it looks like the trains just disappear and then they reappear on the other side of the table. And already I have undergone some extension and design already, even though I'm kind of jumping ahead. I kind of want to figure this first table out first and get it laid out and get into the more detailing of things, so I have a lot more scenery to do. You can still see some of the foam base under there. This section is pretty well designed to where I need it to be, and that second half is still a work in progress. The building on top with green doors and windows is probably going to get leveled off, and it'll serve as a little area above. I'm not sure how to access that yet, whether it'll be a road that goes under the bridge and through this section by where the locomotive is right now to the right, or whether it'll connect down across to this smaller little town here. But yeah, so the back still has a lot of work to do in design and structure, so I want to get that all laid out and figured out before I kind of jump ahead. But I've already started to design a yard in here. This track is just basically extra track that I had that serves to keep some of the cars off the main line as I test the switches and just run them for fun. But there was a platform here that I got rid of, and so essentially I have a design where this part of the outer loop, where these cars are now, it'll come off of here and kind of go this way, and then this track will stay this way, and so I'll have two tracks come across here, and then a yard in this area, and then they'll come across here, and this will have to, my workbench will have to be redesigned, but then essentially I'll have a reversing loop in the opposite direction that I already have on this table here, and my whole workbench will have to be kind of redesigned, but that's kind of down the road, although I like to plan ahead, and we'll probably do that sooner than I should, but that's the plan, is to essentially have the outer loop not connect right here where these cars are coming here. So where the cars are now, that track will be gone, and it'll essentially come across by the power pack, come across here. So it'll be one big continuous loop down here, which will be straight track, and I have a passenger station designed, or a track for a passenger station designed in this section, and then it'll reverse or loop and then come back. You'll have the option whether to run it on an outer loop, big outer loop around the whole section, or whether you reverse it by switching back into itself, and then that way I can reverse both counter and clockwise. So those are the updates I have at this point. The yard is probably going to be more simplistic than initially, because I want those that outer loop to be designed ahead of time before designing a full yard and then working in the loop into it. So I kind of have to take into consideration there's going to be two tracks that come across here, so I'll have less space. And that's about it. I'm working on this guy right now. He was working pretty well, but I wanted to go ahead and solder the points up so that I got rid of the old Athearn clip, as those can be kind of nasty. So I've decided to go ahead and solder the wire across, and in doing so, taking the trucks apart, the wheels got a little finicky, and so I decided to clean them, which I'm in the process of doing now, as I just dropped and lost one, which I'll have to find. But yeah, so this guy will hopefully be up and running a lot smoother, and the gears have gotten a little corroded and dirty, so I need to clean all of that stuff, and especially the worm gears. Those guys are, if you can see them, there's a lot of muck on there that I have to clean off. So hopefully this guy will be up and running a lot smoother. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully the next update will include some more running, and hopefully the mountain will have some more work done. This guy over here is pretty well laid out. There probably needs to be some more fine work in the opening of that, but I like the way this is coming out. I've got the open area in the back here, so that way I can achieve derailments and fixing that sort of thing if I need to. Otherwise it's kind of long to reach in there all the way through, even though it's a short tunnel. And that's about it for the updates. Stay posted. Thanks.